Hello guys, welcome to my channel Total Angrezi by Vidushi. Before we go ahead, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon to never miss an update, and do give me a thumbs up if you like my video. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you want me to cover any particular topic with relations to English, then do write to me in the comment section below. So today we are going to do the next chapter for grade 10 CBSE board exams, a question of trust written by Victor Canning. There is an explanation and there are sample questions. This is a very interesting chapter. To be honest, I found this one of the most interesting from all that is there in the syllabus in the CBSE book. And as we go on, you can understand that I have split the entire story and explanation into great parts. So here we go. Let us begin with the summary. Now we have the main character over here, which is Horace Danby. He is around whom the entire story revolves. Now I have given this a very nice split of this character about him. He is a good person. He is an honest citizen. He is around 50 years old. He is unmarried. He works with locks. He lives with a housekeeper who is always worried about his health. He is constantly attacked by hay fever in the summers, but otherwise he is a very healthy person. He has two helpers with him who help him around the work that he does. He is a respectable and good person, but he is not completely honest. Now, this is a little contradiction because first we read that he is an honest citizen and later we come to know that he is not completely honest. Now, one more thing that we find out about him as we go on is that he is very fond of rare and expensive books. Now, he cannot afford to buy these rare and expensive books. So, what has he do? So, here we go. Now, what he does is, he breaks a safe every year enough to last 12 months and buys the book he wants to through an agent, which means he's a thief. He does some robbery. Now, the next target for him is Shotover-Ganj. That is his next target. He studies about the entire place for about 2 weeks with the help of an article about the house that was printed in the papers, and he also makes his own observations. He understands the rooms, the placements, the electric wiring, the path, the garden, etc. Now, on the day of the robbery, he knows that the owners are in the London and the servants are at the movies, and he has some time to do it. Now he on that day he also feels a little tickle in his nose due to the hay fever, and he had seen that he could get a key from the back door, so he enters from the garden wall. The Ganj safe held jewels worth more than 15,000 plan. His plan was to rob at least jewels worth 5,000 pounds, which was enough to last him for a year and to buy enough books throughout that year. Now, he had his eye set on 3 interesting books that were set for release that autumn, and he had 4 hours till the servants returned. That was what he had. So, what did he do for the robbery? What were the steps? First, he entered from the back garden wall. Then he uses the key of kitchen door that was hanging on a hook outside, which he had observed from one of the servants. Then he puts on his gloves because he wants to avoid fingerprints. He makes friends with the dog that is lying in the kitchen, that is Sherry, by calling him by the name, giving him some love, patting him, so the dog becomes friendly. Then he moves to the drawing room. He finds the safe there that is hidden behind the painting. He again feels a tickle in his nose due to the flowers on the table. And then he sits and thinks to himself that, it is so foolish that the article's writer has revealed that the safe is behind this particular painting in the drawing room. Then he goes back to his robbery. Now, he is getting very hindered because of the flowers and the smell and the tickle in his nose. So, he buries his face in a handkerchief. He ties a handkerchief on his face. Just then, he is stopped by a voice which is asking him a question that, do you have cold or do you have hay fever? Without even looking behind, he says that I have hay fever, and that person, that voice says that, you should get it treated. Maybe you can find out that which is the flower that is causing this to you. And she says that she heard his voice from the rooftop. What happens next? Now he finds out that there is a lady standing at the door. That is the voice that was talking to him. What is this lady like? She has a quiet and kindly voice, yet she has a firm tone. She's found standing at the doorway with Sherry rubbing against her, which means even she knows the dog and she's friendly with the dog. She's young, she's pretty, she's dressed in red, and she walks to the fireplace and puts out her ornaments there. Whatever she's wearing, She puts it out there. Then there is a conversation between the lady and between Horace Dunphy. So she tells him that, she knew that maybe people would think that she's away for a month, but she returned on early, but she did not expect to find a burglar at home. So Horace says that he also did not expect to meet anyone, and she taunts him that, oh, I'm so sorry, me coming here has made your robbery inconvenient for you. Then Horace thinks about running, but she threatens to call the police, and Horace again threatens her that he will cut the telephone wires and hurt her. She's surprised at his statements, and he explained that he only wanted to frighten her, but she says that she isn't frightened of him. So he says that, you just let me go, and it's all peace here. But she says that no, even if I let you go today, tomorrow you will be at somebody else's house. So for the sake of the society, I have to report you. So he makes her a promise that, I promise you that I'm never going to do this again and stuff like that. You let me go. So she realizes that he's scared of the prison. And what he does is he tries to impress her by lighting her cigarette with his lighter, and that is when he takes off his gloves. Now this is very important. This is where he takes off his gloves. She assures him that if in case she lets him go, he has to do her a favor. And she says that her husband had told her that all the jewels need to be put in the bank, but she had forgotten. But now she needs to wear these jewels at a party, but she has forgotten the safe lock. So he says that you give me 1 hour, I'm going to break the lock for you. You can take your ornaments out and you let me go scot-free. So she says that fine. And, it's okay, you break the lock before my husband comes back, because there is a month for that. I will get it fixed. So we come to know that she is the owner of the house. He breaks the lock within 1 hour and she lets him go. What happens next? This is the ending. Now Horace keeps his promise for not doing any robbery for 2 days, but on the third day he is reminded of the books that he wants to buy. So he decides to break a new safe. But this plan fails, because that very noon he is arrested as the police find his fingerprints at the shot away place. Now he then remembers that he had opened the safe after removing the gloves, which means that his fingerprints were there on it. And that is when he tries to explain that, the man's wife, the owner's wife herself asked me to do it, but nobody believes him. That is when he meets the wife, who is a grey-haired lady. She's over 60 and she dismisses his story. That is when he realizes that the lady he met that day was young and she was not the owner. She was not the wife of the owner, but she was a thief herself, and she tricked him into getting all the ornaments out of the safe, and he got caught and she was free. Now Horace is, sent to prison. He is an assistant librarian at the prison library, and he often thinks about the charming young lady who fooled him and was a thief herself. But every time somebody uses the words honor among thieves, he gets very angry, because he saw that one robber did not honor the other thief. So it's a very interesting story. Let's move on to some practice questions. There's not much vocabulary that is of difficulty level in this chapter. So I'm going to go directly to the short question. Most of these answers are already there in the summary if you frame sentences. Whom did Horace Dunphy see in the kitchen? How did they greet each other? What tag did Horace apply there? So you can see that he saw the dog Sherry, and they greeted each other by being friendly. And what tag did he apply? That if you are friendly with a dog, if you know the name, if you pat him, then he will not do any harm to you. How did Dunphy prepare for the robbery at Shotover Ganj, or how did Horace plan his robbery? It is there in the summary section exactly what he did. How did Dunphy prepare for the robbery at Shotover Ganj, or how did Horace Dunphy plan his robberies? That's a repeat question, sorry. Describe the safe at Shotover Ganj, or where was the safe at Shotover Ganj? We know that it was behind the painting in the drawing room. What was there inside it? So I told you that there were jewels worth almost 15,000 pounds. And what did Horace expect to get if he sold them one by one? He wanted to buy some books that were set for release in autumn. How can you say that Horace Dunphy was good and respectable but not completely honest? You have the answer in the summary. How can you say that he was good and respectable? Was because he used the money only and only for buying books, but he's not honest because he is buying that out of stolen money. How did flour hinder Horace in his work? Because it was causing a tickle in his nose and it was instigating his hay fever. Why was Horace Standby sure that his robbery at Shotover would be a successful one? Because he knew that the owners were away in London and the servant had gone over for a movie and he had 4 hours. That is why he was sure. And also that, that is about it. Why does Horace Standby get angry when everyone talks about honor among thieves? That was just recently discussed in the last part of the summary. What are the suitable ways in which the lady manages to deceive Horace Standby into thinking she is the mistress of the house? So you have to plan this answer by yourself. You can talk about her confidence. You can talk about how she removed the ornaments, how well she knew the house as well, etc. What did Horace Standby wonder about for a moment? What did he think and decide? This happens when he enters the drawing room, where he wonders if it was easier to collect paintings than books. But then he says that painting and pictures would take a lot of space in my very small house, and so it is better to collect books. What did Horace do every year and why? You know the answer. How did whom did Horace meet at Shotover? How did the meeting affect his plans? So this is all there in the summary. These are the long answer questions, which I always say that these are answers to be formed by your own. These are self-explanatory answers. What precautions did Standby take to avoid arrest? What blunder did he commit in his last venture? You know about the part of the gloves and how he removed them. So explain that. Why was Horace Standby arrested although he failed to profit from the robbery at Shotover Ranch? You can, again, this answer matches with the answer from question 1. Horace was clever, but the lady in red was cleverer. Do you agree with the statement? Justify your answer. I believe she was, and there is a lot of justification from the summary which shows how she tricked him. You can put forth your point of view. Would you do something wrong, that is commit a crime, if you thought that the end justify the means? For example, here also Horace Standby thought that I am using it for collecting books. I am not doing anything bad by it. So do you think that would be something, you would do something like that? And do you think that there are certain situations you can be excused for acting dishonestly? You have to contemplate this answer. This is completely your point of view. Horace was a successful thief because he carefully planned his robberies. Should we call him a successful thief and still appreciate his work? Why or why not? So he has been successful in all these years. It is there in the text that he has never got caught except for once. So yes, of course he is successful. But do you still appreciate his work of why he is doing the robberies, what he does with the robbed money, and you have to give answers and why or why not for your answer. That's all for today, guys. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And do write to me in the comment section below if you want me to cover any topic.